Pleasure to introduce Reverend Dr. Jennifer Yocum, who will share her message titled Love, actually, from Bridgerton to Bay Street. So.
I love this microphone. It's going to work here this morning because when you turn it on, it says hi. Great. So when Sally extended an invitation to preach several months ago on the topic of love, I understand July is kind of a month of love, which is, there you go. The latest season of Bridgerton had just been announced or released or something like that. And so I was all about it. And I thought to begin my remarks talking about Bridgerton, which, if you don't know, is a romantic drama, comedy, whatever, set in the England of George III. And it's got, how many of you know this show? Okay. For those who don't, it's okay. I'm going to summarize every season of episode of Bridgerton for you. And it goes something like this. At the beginning of the season, smoky stare across the ballroom floor. Coquettish smile in return. One dance where the bonds of true love are formed forever. Insurmountable obstacle presents itself. The lovers meet, facilitated by a servant usually, and declare their undying love. Insurmountable obstacle continues to present itself. The lovers declare boldly that their love can in fact surmount that obstacle. Blessing of the Queen, wedding scene. That's it. It's what happens every season. And we see the wedding scene, the beautiful gown and that the bride is wearing, and the beautiful outfit that the groom is wearing, and the bride is walking down the aisle, and that is true love, happily ever after. Yes. That's all it takes, y'all. Just want to put it out there, it's all it takes. Now, if Shonda Rhimes were allowed a camera to roll a little bit further, just into the wedding scene, you might hear the minister read this passage. Certainly I have a few times. Because people look at this passage and they go, okay, that's great. That's what love is, lovely. And here we are at a wedding. We're celebrating love. And after all of the drama and passion that we've been through, then we hear this passage. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is never boastful or proud. And you're like, wait a second. Is that the same thing I just saw? And you would be right to ask that question because the answer is no. Not only is it not what you just saw, it's not even the right word. The word love in Greek has multiple translations, multiple meanings. The Bridgerton love that we see in the episodes gorgeously produced by Netflix is eros. It's the root form of the word erotic. It is intimate love, partner love, excellent stuff. Another Greek word that we have for love is philos. It's the love of companions. It's the love of friendship. That's great. You have direct English translation. But the love that Paul is using in this letter is agape, which has no direct English translation. So I'm going to set a little context for what he's probably talking about, okay? Paul is, and whenever we look at the epistles of the gospel, any of you, Ellen keeps giving me cues about where I need to place the microphone.
Too close.
Okay. She's always right. There we go. She's my wife. She's always right. So, Corinth. Paul is writing a letter into Corinth, which is a seaport. It is a really interesting design. All of the activities of the seaport happen down below, and then all of the houses of the rich and famous are up above. So you have all of the kind of the chaos and sometimes lawlessness of the seaport happens down below. The poor people, the working class, live down there, and then all the rich people live up top. And Paul is trying to establish community in Corinth. And he's got his message of Jesus, which is about love, and only one iteration, but still a good one that I like. And he's trying to establish this community based on this idea of love, which extends not just to intimate relationships and not just to friendship relationships, but rather the love of building community. If you think about it, you've got the Hindu idea of namaste. The divine in me sees or greets the divine in you. Now extend that, saying not only does the divine in me see or greet the divine in you, but the holy in me is all about trying to build community and love and care and respect and vitality with everyone. That gets close to this idea of what agape is. Some people define it as the love of God, the love for God, the love God has for us. I don't even go there. I think of agape as if you took the word community and turned it into a verb. Right? Not communion, which would be, or communing, which is just like, hey there, how you doing? But how would you build a village, a connection, a fellowship, if you will, based on love and care and justice and the extension of right relationship? Very much Buddhist Eightfold Path kind of community that we're looking at here. So that love is not usually swathed in gowns and dripping with jewels. That love holds a serving spoon. That is the love that makes you run for office or show up at a community meeting or help a family out who's in trouble. That's a love that is often wearing an apron. That is a love that is wearing work boots and carrying a hammer and a set of nails. Now, of course, we want to see that kind of love present in our intimate relationships as well. I do not own any garments swathed in jewels, but I do own a pair of work boots and a hammer. But this passage, love is patient, love is kind, love does not put on airs, love is never proud or boastful or rude. Love accepts all things, love endures all things. If you can insert a record scratch moment into that for a second. Some people think that what that means is that love is boundaryless. Everything's okay. Everything's fine. And I'd say, no. Come on. That's not what builds community. That's not what builds civic society. Love is about expressing boundaries, amen? Love is about putting those in place and creating a civil structure, a civil order so that we can live together and share together and grow together and have expectations of each other. One of the founding principles of this nation is that we are based on under the rule of law. Everyone, no matter what their job. Amen? Amen. We have the expectations to participate in civil society under a rule of love, extended out of love and care. One of those sets of rules extended out of love and care needs to be about how we interact with people with whom we disagree. Needs to be put in place to protect children aged 20 years old, not even old enough to order a drink for themselves, much less able somehow to get their hands on a semi-automatic weapon. That is not love, my friends. That is chaos. And with respect and with regard to the shootings in Pennsylvania and the persons who lost their lives there, a few hours later, Birmingham. And a few hours or days or weeks from now, we know again and again and again that it will not be love that prevails, but chaos and fear in those moments. And so we have choices to make, friends, of what our love will look like in action. What our love will look like in action can take many forms. It can take the form to just stay at home and hunker down, to doom scroll through our phones and through our laptops. It will not be a healthy choice, but it will be a choice that some make. The choice may be to angrily and with fear protest and wave one's fists, whether that be on a social media platform or on another platform. I'm not saying that there is not a place for holy anger, but I am saying that the power of love will fuel justice longer and stronger. I was in the fellowship area and I saw the sticker. Be fearless. Choose love. I think that is the invitation for us today and every day, is to not give in to fear, is to not give in to hatred. And it is, in fact, to choose a fearless form of love that propels conversation, that propels community, that propels the expression of the greater vitality of community. To be community in action. To be justice in action. To be hope in action. My friends, love might be patient and kind, and not proud or boastful or vain. But love is not a doormat either. Love is power. Love is what you do when you gather together to care and to promote and to support more joy and more justice in this area. I thank you for this long history of doing that. I pray for the blessing that continues in this community.